the leaking bucket. Imagine for a moment that your brain is a bucket. You spend hours every single day pouring water into it, reading textbooks, highlighting notes, watching lectures. You feel productive. You feel like you are filling that bucket to the brim. But by the time you wake up tomorrow morning, nearly 70% of that water has leaked out. Gone. It is the most frustrating feeling in the world, isn't it? You put in the work, but the results disappear. You start to question your own intelligence. You think, maybe I'm just not smart enough. Here is the truth. It is not your fault. And you are certainly not lacking in intelligence. Your brain is simply wired to survive, not to excel in modern exams. Your brain is designed to clear out information it deems useless to save energy. It is a biological mechanism. But here is the catch. Across the ocean, in Japan, students are facing a challenge that makes standard exams look easy. They have to memorize over 2,000 complex kanji characters, and not just for a test, but to retain them for life. If the human brain is designed to forget, how do they do it? What is their secret? Your teachers likely never told you this, but the reason you are struggling isn't a lack of effort. It is a flaw in your method. The traditional Western study techniques, rereading notes, highlighting paragraphs until the page glows neon yellow, are essentially useless. They feel productive, but to your brain, they are just background noise. They are like an Instagram ad that you scroll past without thinking. Today, we are going to fix the leak in your bucket. We are not going to ask you to read 500 pages of research papers. Here at Titan Intellect, we have done that spadework for you. We are going to break down the specific, science-backed protocols used by the most disciplined students in Japan to hack the brain's retention code. These are 5 steps to mastering learning without spending endless hours buried in books. The Science OF Forgetting the Silent Destroyer. Before we hand you the weapons, you must understand their enemy. In neuroscience, there is a concept known as the forgetting curve. It is the silent destroyer of your potential. Research shows that within just 24 hours of learning something new, your brain dumps the vast majority of that information. By day 3, only faint traces remain. This is why you can stay up all night cramming, feel ready, and then go completely blank in the exam hall. You are fighting biology with brute force, and biology always wins. But what if you could break this cycle? Japanese students have been doing it for centuries. They don't win by studying harder. They win by studying smarter. They leverage specific psychological triggers to trick the brain into flagging information as critical for survival. Let's dismantle these methods one by one. Method 1. Active recall, the samurai approach. The first method is what we call the samurai approach to memory. In academic circles, it is known as active recall. Most students focus entirely on input. You read, you watch, you listen, you highlight. This is passive. It feels good because it is easy. It creates what psychologists call the illusion of competence. You see the text, you recognize it, and you think, I know this. But you don't know it, you just recognize it. Memory is not built through input. Memory is strengthened through output. Think of your brain like a muscle. If you watch someone else lift weights, your muscles don't grow. You have to lift the heavy weight yourself. You have to struggle. Every time you force your brain to retrieve a piece of information without looking at your notes, you are lifting the weight. That struggle, that frustration you feel when you can't quite remember the answer, that is actually the moment learning happens. That is the feeling of your brain physically constructing stronger neural pathways. So, how do you apply this samurai philosophy? Stop rereading. Close the book. Grab a blank sheet of paper. Now, write down everything you can remember about the topic you just studied. It will be messy. It will be difficult. You might only remember 10%. That is fine. By forcing that retrieval, You are signaling to your brain that this information is necessary. Western students cram. They try to stuff the suitcase full. Japanese students cultivate knowledge. They build the muscles required to carry it. Method 2. The Cumin method, micro steps to macro mastery. The second secret lies in a system that has become famous worldwide, born in Japan, the Cumin method. The biggest enemy of learning is overwhelm. When you look at a textbook that is 3 inches thick, your brain releases cortisol, the stress hormone. Stress shuts down the learning centers of the brain. You freeze. You procrastinate. The Cumin method counters this by breaking the mountain down into pebbles. It focuses on small steps. It is about mastering a concept in such a small, manageable bite that it becomes impossible to fail. This aligns perfectly with what author James Clear discusses in Atomic Habits. He talks about the power of the 1% improvement. If you improve by just 1% every day, mathematically, you end up 37 times better by the end of the year. This is how you must approach your studies. Instead of saying, "I need to learn chapter 5 today," which is vague and terrifying, you apply the Cumin mindset. You say, "I will master this one specific formula," or "I will memorize these 5 vocabulary words." By successfully completing these tiny tasks, your brain releases dopamine. This creates a positive feedback loop. You feel good, so you want to do more. You are not just learning the material. You are training your brain to enjoy the process of learning. You are building momentum. If you try to eat a steak in one bite, you will choke. If you cut it into pieces, you digest it effortlessly. That is the Cumin way. Method 3. Spaced repetition, the gardening technique. Now that you have learned the material, how do you keep it from disappearing? This brings us to the third method, spaced repetition. Think of your memory like a garden. You cannot water a plant with 100 gallons of water in one day and expect it to survive for the summer. It will drown. Instead, you water it a little bit today, a little bit in 3 days, and a little bit next week. The Japanese education system heavily utilizes this systematic review. They do not wait until the night before the test to review everything. That is suicide for your memory. The science is simple. You need to review information right at the moment you are about to forget it. Step 1. Learn it today. Step 2. Review it 24 hours later. This resets the forgetting curve. Step 3. Review it 72 hours later. Step 4. Review it 1 week later. Each time you review the material after a break, the memory trace becomes deeper and stronger. Eventually, the curve flattens out, and the information moves from your short-term memory, which is fragile, to your long-term memory, which is permanent. You are essentially hacking the brain's delete button. By showing the brain the same data at spaced intervals, you are telling your subconscious, "Do not delete this. We are using it." Method 4. Kaizen, continuous evolution. The fourth concept is perhaps the most famous Japanese philosophy of all, Kaizen. Kaizen translates to good change or continuous improvement. In the corporate world, Toyota used this to become the best car manufacturer in history. But in the world of high-performance students, Kaizen is the antidote to perfectionism. Many of us stop studying because we are afraid of failing. We think we need to study for 4 hours perfectly, or not at all. Kaizen rejects this. Kaizen asks, what is the smallest step I can take today to be better than yesterday? Japanese students don't look for overnight miracles. They look for steady, relentless progress. It removes the pressure. You don't have to be a genius today. You just have to be slightly better than you were yesterday. This method works incredibly well with a specific protocol we recommend at Titan Intellect, the 6-minute strategy. 2 minutes of active recall. 2 minutes of spaced repetition review. 2 minutes of focused practice on a new concept. Just 6 minutes. Everyone has 6 minutes. But if you do this every single day, without fail, the compound interest on that knowledge is astronomical. In a month, you aren't just maintaining knowledge, you are evolving. No burnout. No stress. Just steady, unstoppable mastery. Method 5. Seishin Toitsu, the art of focus rituals. Finally, we arrive at the foundation of it all. You can have the best techniques in the world, but if your mind is scattered, they are useless. In Japan, there is a concept often associated with martial arts and calligraphy called Seishin Toitsu, mental concentration, or unifying the mind. It implies a state of deep, unbreakable focus, a state where you become one with the task. In the West, we constantly multitask. We study with our phones on the desk, checking notifications, listening to lyrical music. We are fracturing our attention. Every time you glance at your phone, you suffer from attention residue. Your focus is shattered, and it takes 20 minutes to get it back. To achieve the level of focus seen in top Japanese students, you need to turn learning into a ritual. The brain loves cues. You need to signal to your physiology that it is time to enter deep work mode. Create a dedicated study space. Never study in bed. The bed is for sleeping. Use a sensory trigger. Maybe you only drink a specific type of tea when you study, or you light a specific candle, or you put on a specific pair of glasses. Eliminate the digital noise. Phone in another room. When you perform these rituals, your brain eventually learns the pattern. The moment you light that candle, your brain automatically shifts into high focus gear. You start fighting for concentration, and you start flowing into it. Conclusion: the Titan's choice. The techniques we have discussed today, active recall, the Kuman method, spaced repetition, Kaizen, and deep focus rituals, are not magic tricks. They are efficient, biological algorithms for upgrading your human hardware. Think about the last time you truly mastered something. Maybe it was a video game, a sport, or a musical instrument. You didn't just watch people do it. You practiced. You failed. You adjusted. You focused. And you repeated it over time. That is how real learning works. School taught you what to learn, but they never taught you how to learn. And that is why it has felt like such a struggle. It shouldn't be a struggle. It should be smart. It should be efficient. And dare I say, it should be the easy way. So, here is the choice you face right now. You can go back to the old way. You can go back to highlighting pages, cramming the night before, and watching 70% of your effort leak out of the bucket. You can continue to work hard and get mediocre results. Or you can decide to adopt the mindset of a titan. You can start using these methods today. You can stop trading your time for grades and start trading your strategy for mastery. The top 1% of students, the ones who seem to breeze through life, won't just watch this video and move on. They will take action. They will try active recall tonight. They will set up their spaced repetition schedule tomorrow. The question is, will you? Action plan. If you are serious about transforming your mind from a leaking bucket into a fortress of knowledge, I want you to do one thing right now. Pick just one of the hacks we discussed today. Just one. Maybe it's the 6-minute Kaizen routine. Maybe it's writing on a blank sheet of paper. Try it for 24 hours. And then come back here and let the community know in the comments which method resonated with you the most. Your experience might inspire someone else to start their journey. We are building a community here dedicated to the relentless pursuit of mental dominance and self-mastery. If you want to equip yourself with the tools to outperform the rest of the world, make sure you subscribe to the Stick Mindset and turn on notifications. We don't just share tips, We share the blueprints for a superior life. Change your methods, and you will change your destiny. Start today. I'm the Stick Mindset. Class dismissed.